Hello there. I didn't do a video yesterday, and it had a few people a little worried. They reached out to see if I was okay, and I was absolutely fine. I might not like the results of the election, but I can fully accept that that is what they are. I felt the same way when John Key got elected, to be fair. You learn to live with it, and while you might not like the results, there are things that you can do to make sure that things change for next time, like talking to people, letting them know what's going on, and holding government to account when they do something that you don't like. And while I was going to make a video initially, on Saturday night, I ended up doing a 4 hour live radio show and a 4 hour live stream and a quick appearance on Big Hairy News. It was a hectic night. So I decided today just to let everybody feel their feelings. We have to have a chance to process because there's a lot of people very happy with the results, and there's a lot of people really unhappy and scared of the results. And we need time to process that. So instead, I spent today actually cleaning up my office. It's where I found the cool hat. It was actually buried in the wardrobe just beside me, next to my passport, which I'm going to need when I fly to Manila for a holiday next month. It's actually really amazing to me, some of the stuff I have hidden away. It's like you find things that you're going, you know what, I'm never going to use that. And then something sort of changes and you're like, you know what? Perhaps that will come in handy at some point in time in the next few years. Maybe don't throw that out. That is something that you're definitely going to be able to use. Anyway, about the election. We really don't know very much more than we did on election night, to be honest. While 100% of the preliminary votes have been counted, there's a lot of questions up in the air. We know that Christopher Luxon will be the next Prime Minister, and that Actor National currently have a one-seat majority. We also know that there's about 500,000 special votes to be counted, which David Seymour's already complained about, those annoying people who are all left-wing casting special votes because they're too lazy to do it on the day. His words, not mine. They do tend to go left, which means that there's a pretty real possibility that majority is going to be gone by November 3rd. At the same time, though, there's a by-election coming up for Port Waikato, which is most likely going to go to national. But there's also probably an overhang from Te Pāti Māori, who did really well and won 4 seats on the night, but they only polled 2.5% at the party vote, which means that they've got more MPs than party vote percentage, which means an overhang. So we literally do not know what's going to happen on November 3rd. Other than the fact that to get to government, Christopher Luxon is probably going to need to talk to Winston Peters, who was on TV yesterday screaming at the media that they were trying to keep him down and it didn't work. Ha ha! That incredibly sane person who brought in Tanya I want to Nuremberg the politician's Unkovich under current preliminary counts. I'm sure he'll fit right in, though, with National and their Ryan. I sat around while sovereign citizens screamed for blood from my co-workers Hamilton, who won in Hamilton East last night. Okay, maybe there are some results that I wasn't particularly a fan of, but I will accept them. Just like I accept Simon O'Connor got kicked out of his seat. Maybe they don't want like an ultra-evangelical Christian telling women what they can do with their bodies. But again, small potatoes at the moment. The next thing that we need to do is basically wait and see. Once we know who the government is and what the coalition agreement is, we'll know then what the priorities are that they're putting forward. And we know that there are some areas in agreement for, say, National and ACT. They both want to change the tax system. We know that there's some agreements with National, ACT, and New Zealand First, like they both all want to get rid of Māori seats. That doesn't sound like a good thing either. And we need to hold government to account when they do these things. Everybody does. Whether you agree with them or not, that's the trick for any new government. But until they start doing anything, we can't really hold anybody to account, can we? So it's just a case of preparing yourself, being aware of what's coming up, taking a look over some of the policies again, and talking to people, creating a bit of empathy for yourself and from yourself. And that way, when the next term starts for Parliament, we can all hit the ground running and start holding people to account where we need to, doing what we can. Until then, though, feel your feelings, because that is also completely acceptable.